Alright, so here we go. So Stalker 2 just got its very first patch for 2025, patch 114. We're going to talk about exactly what has changed, but I think some of you might be disappointed. And there is actually good news, though, about the next major patch. We got some brand new responses from the dev team out on Reddit, out on Discord, a bunch of stuff going on here. As you can clearly see, we'll go over all of it together. And check this out, feedback after 200 hours of playing Stalker 2. We'll dive into that. And yes, your top comments. But you know what? Check this out right here. So if you're like me, you probably grew up collecting all sorts of things like Pokemon, Digimon, and even the Magic the Gathering cards. Well, I'm now collecting champions, and I'm always thinking of how I can grow my collection of legendaries and epics, and I'm currently on the hunt for my first elusive mythical. Yes, I'm talking about Raid Shadow Legends, and if you love collecting, you might want to pay attention to this, because Raid is giving away free legendary champions right now for new users for a limited time. In fact, you can obtain Loki the Deceiver, an amazing support legendary, for free by simply downloading the game for free using the link in the description below and enter Get Loki into the promo code section, and boom, you'll find Loki waiting for you in your inbox, as well as a ton of starter resources to give you the best start in Raid Shadow Legends. Now, Alice the Wanderer from the Adventures of Alice in Wonderland is also available for free for a limited time. She's a legendary, she's absolutely amazing, and all you got to do is log into Raid 7 different days for a limited time, and you will obtain her for free on that 7th day. And get this, by following my link in the description below or scanning the QR code on the screen, you can also obtain 2 epic support champions for free, Tagore and Ugo. You'll also receive a ton of starter resources for the best start in Raid. Now, these 2 are absolutely beasts for every mode in the game, from the campaign all the way to PvP and clan battles. You can also find all my videos on my new Raid YouTube channel showcasing these 2 amazing epic support champions. Follow that link in the description below. So yeah, talk about the perfect way to start your champion collection in Raid with some of the best legendary and epic champions. Join me right now in Raid for free by following that link in the description below or scanning that QR code on the screen. Check it out. All right, so let's talk about patch 114 and exactly what has changed. So they do note that this is the first update of the year, which means more is on the way. That is extremely important to note. So this is considered a hot fix, by the way, but let's get into what has changed. So to cut the story short here, it says here's a list of fixes. They fixed crashes and freezes on shaders compilation. I know a lot of you guys will absolutely rejoice about that one. That has been such a pain for many of you. Furthermore, they say this fixed memory leak occurred at Rostock location. Fixed performance degradation when shooting, aiming on saves with long playtime. So that could relate, of course, to the memory leak issues as well as you get further and further into the game and your runtime for a session is longer. But then we have implemented fixes that should solve the problem causing saves to be lost on Xbox and fix a random crash related to UI animations. Now they go on to say this: a fight with the shader compilation was among the hardest for us all in the recent days. Please, if your particular shader compilation issue is still present, let us know by Tech Support Hub and so on and so forth. And of course, they are going to continue to knock down those bugs and fixes, really making sure that this game is in shape for the next major update. And more importantly, of course, the big fixes to A Life. And yes, we are going to be eventually working our way into expansions and DLC. And you know what? That free PvP mode that they have mentioned, they haven't mentioned it recently, but we do also have some new responses from the dev team, both on Reddit and Discord. Let's check in and see what they had to say about the next major update. So we have this one right here from Molt, who says, we are also working on the issue with the system error message about missing DLL file after crashing on the Microsoft Store version of the game. Not the DLL file problem, just the wrong error message popping up, so no need to try to install DLL files manually. That's a little bit more of a maintenance type message there from Molt. So let's get into more serious stuff here on their Discord. Let's check it out right here. So we have Molt, who says it'll be a smaller scope patch with key changes. That's for today. We will be releasing another major update for the game very soon after. So it seems like there's not going to be a lot of wait time between today's hotfix and the next major update, as we are headed into February. Now, the next major update is classified as the winter update, by the way. So remember, we're through December. We're practically through January. February is, in my opinion, kind of like considered the last month of winter, at least for me. One person commented, I think winter ends officially in March. However, Yeah, February is looking very, very good for the next major patch, which should be seeing some significant change. Let's find out what else the dev team had to say here. So we have this right here. Is AI improvement and overhaul planned in the future, or is it currently being worked on? And the answer is this: we continue to work on various fixes and boosts for how the mutants and stalkers do their business in the zone A life system also. So several things happening with the AI system. And then on top of the AI, yeah, they're also making improvements to A life. So I am so curious to see how the zone is going to be feeling after this next major update. Kind of excited. I should say very cautiously optimistic over here, but still, you know, it's definitely going in the right direction. But also we have this one right here. When can we expect the roadmap to be released? And the response is this: soon, but not yet ready, unfortunately. And also they did note in another post that it has not been canceled. The roadmap is not canceled. It is still something they are fine-tuning. They're just not ready to show it to us yet. Damn it, I want to see it. Also, we have this one right here. Hi, in the next update or even hotfix, could you tell us if the key binding issues are going to be resolved? Example, L hard configured to flashlight. I use R&B for walking, not W yet. When I go to a ladder, I'm forced to use W to go up the ladder and S to come back down, and not my chosen key. And the response is this: should be part of the next patch, next one after the one we have today. So that's going to be part of the big update right there, is those key binding issues, which I've seen many complaints about that one. Then we have, is the Granite Squad supposed to be able to insta-kill the players seemingly at random? Despite wearing an exoskeleton, it has no effect on the fight and makes the encounter extremely frustrating. The response is simple: Granite Squad snipers sometimes spawn with a gun, which can one-shot kill player in any gear on Veterans difficulty. It is a bug, and the fix is in the process. Hopefully it makes it into this next major patch, because it's always a pain in the butt to get like insta-killed, one-shotted, especially if they're at great distance, which has been a problem in this game in particular. Now, we also have, this might be a spoiler, but was bad reputation intended for Malachite if reached before circummission? And was Malachite being aggressive afterward defense also intended, because there is no narrative nor anything that could indicate the above? And the response is this: it is a known bug with the reputation that makes the reputation go down significantly. We are working on a fix. So yeah, the reputation system is also going to be getting some fixes and adjustments there, which is good to know. So that is good news. So yeah, things are shaping up nicely. It'd also be nice to hear about that reputation being fully fleshed out between the faction systems, but we'll see what happens with that one. And I will admit, I am kind of getting curious about what is going on with this free PvP mode that they have also told us is coming down the road eventually. A little bit apprehensive about it, of course. I think a lot of you guys would prefer them to focus on co-op, or even focus on just fleshing out the single player experience instead of diving into PvP. But who knows, maybe it'll have like some sort of cult following. We'll only have to wait and find out. Now, also, we have some feedback to get into, so let's talk about it. So, oh boy, this should be interesting. Feedback for Stalker 2 after 200 hours. He has an edit here. GSC got back to me about my feedback. Oh, really? And the reply was very positive. Sent this list to GSC as feedback, but figured I'll post it here. Maybe we can have some nice, civilized, constructive discussion on the topic. And he did some research here. Okay, here are some of the thoughts after 200 hours. Let's get into it. All right, so what he liked: observing artifacts, exploring the zone in general, atmosphere. Yes, love the atmosphere. Atmosphere is like top for me. The non-lethal anomalies, the quality of life changes from the original trilogy, 90% of the guns, the small puzzles around the world, and this discoverable location. So he likes the game. Now, what I don't like: the length of the day-night cycle, how drinking energy drinks bypass the sleep system in its entirety. Is it even in the game at the moment? That's such a good point. I feel like it would be cool if sleeping was more involved feature. I don't want it to be a nuisance where it's constantly like, you need to sleep, but it would be cool if the game actually kind of let you know that, hey, your character is tired and your aim was affected, and, you know, things like energy drinks, things like eating food was becoming less useful and having less of an impact. I think that would be cool to make sleep more impactful. At least that's my opinion. Let me know how you guys feel about that one. It would make camping and setting up camps and things like that more important in the future of this game. But anyway, we also have this one right here: enemy accuracy. 100-meter sniping with buckshots is no fun. currently how auto peeking works, it just messes with my aiming while shuffling around. The flashbang anomalies, just no, I totally agree with that. I wish they would just completely get rid of those flashbang annoying ass anomalies, because to me they just don't have any point to them, and they're not really much different from the other anomalies. They're just a visual nuisance for sure. In fact, I can't even include any gameplay of those in the background because I'm sure they would be extremely distracting to you guys. But for me personally, I just feel like, yeah, they're kind of one of the more annoying anomalies in the game. All right, so we also have the next one, the reward for some side quests, getting 2k coupons to kill 5 flesh near Malachi, and finding out that going there and back to grade my items by 1,800 or 2,500 coupons is not a very good feeling. We'll see if they do any more fine-tuning with the economy in the next major patch. They did do some tuning to the repair costs and stuff like that, so there might be more work to be had there. I think they did make some mentions of that previously, but we also have this right here, What I Miss, binoculars, night vision goggles, hell yes. Translation of the Ukrainian text on walls. Textures are fine. Maybe a translation can appear when I hover over them. It is immersion breaking having to fiddle with Google Translate mid-game session. Could not agree more with that one. As long as they keep the artwork intact and everything isn't like in English, you know what I mean? That would be ridiculous and not even possible. They did say, like, from a art standpoint, they can't go through and rework the whole world. However, having like a text pop up makes total sense. Now, quests involving long travel. Example, barman tells me to get a package or kill a group all the way in Zapton or back, for example. Obviously, rewards need to be higher to be worth the trekking and extra equipment degradation. Yeah, I totally agree. Those rewards do need to be adjusted. Then we have a way to enter Pripyat before the main mission takes place. Maybe a side quest to let us pass, or a legit way to sneak in without hacks. That'd be pretty neat. A gameplay mode where stashes and loot are semi-randomized, so you cannot just rush for a Sega at the truck cemetery as soon as you leave the lesser zone. Yeah, I've always thought that it would be nice if they could do some sort of randomization with the loot. It would make it more interesting for sure. Or perhaps like even have like factions through the A-Life system influence the loot system a lot more somehow. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot they could do and update with that one. Now, weapon armor repair kit, nothing as detailed as Anomaly Gamma, but rather I'd be happy with a rare item like a gun lube or such that restores 10 to 15%, 10 to 25% on a weapon armor with weapon-specific animations maybe. A lot more work, but would be oh so immersive seeing Skiff put a few drops of oil into my 4/16 bolt carrier. Hell yes. Again, I always reference Metro. I love the repair system in Metro. There's something about it. Yeah, it would be cool if they had maybe more workbenches around areas that you could discover. I don't know. Also, we have PDA Encyclopedia from the Shadow of Chernobyl that has short text on mutants, artifacts, and regions I've already encountered. That would be cool to shift through that. And also have some notes on how to, like, beat those enemies. Maybe, like, your character can, like, jot down things that you have discovered, weaknesses, maybe the resistances and stuff like that. That would also be super, super useful. All right, so you guys know what time it is. It is time to get into your top comments, so let's do this. And by the way, if you want to join me in my adventure with Raid Shadow Legends, be sure to click that link in the description below to download Raid for free, or the QR code on the screen, and you'll get 2 free epic support champions, Tagore and yes, Ugo, and also a bunch of free starting resources to give you the best start in Raid Shadow Legends. So join me in Raid Shadow Legends. Let's do this. And our first top comment is this one right here. You know you've played too much when you recognize all the locations in the background vid. Hell yes, man. That shows that you are a true Stalker fan over there. And there are more games on the horizon here in 2025 coming up, by the way, that are very Stalker-like. And I hope to highlight those on the channel here eventually, because honestly, this was one of my favorite games of 2024, and I'm still enjoying it, yes, despite the issues. All right, so let's find out what else you guys had to say. We have this one. Enemies can see you through walls and underground tunnels. Lots of work on just the basics need to be done. Couldn't agree more. They really, really need to fine-tune, especially the stealth system in this game. Stealth needs to be something that is more viable in Stalker, of course, because you're so reliant on conserving ammo and taking care of yourself, you're going to want to be able to sneak around and take out enemies one by one instead of all of a sudden being spotted and it goes to hell every single time. So yeah, definitely need to adjust that for sure. All right, what do we have? I have a pretty decent knowledge of Unreal Engine 5. I've already posted on Reddit, but I have some crazy plans when the mod kit comes out. I've already had a working helicopter, placeable campfire. Hell yes, that's what I'm talking about. Arrest mechanics, night vision goggles, and thermal scopes. I got you guys taken care of when it's released. I'm just stacking up mods currently. Hell, that is freaking awesome to hear. That is what I'm talking about. I can't wait to see what happens with the modding community and the mod scene once, you know, official like mod support rolls out here for this game. Already, it's pretty stellar through Nexus mod, of course, but I think we're going to see this game taken to a different level with the mod support. Hopefully like Skyrim levels, because there's so much good stuff that can be done with this foundation. But anyway, there it is, the latest happenings around Stalker 2. It's good to see that they're finally starting to roll out the updates here in 2025. I know today's update is a bit disappointing. It's not anything absolutely monumental, but it is that step in the right direction. And hopefully we don't have to wait too long for the next major update, which I think is going to be dropping sometime in February. I don't want to say like when and speculate too much, but I think it's going to be sometime in February. We'll see when. We'll let the devs tell us that info. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned here for more, and I will see you all next time. Take care.